So one thing I like to try and do at the start of each year before the season really gets going is to go through my fishing kit and scale down as much as possible. Whether that means just taking out all the old stuff that I've collected over the last year's angling and the things that I don't use just get rid of, or even try and scale down in other areas. Luckily, this year NGT has got me covered because they've brought out a pop-up cradle, which folds down to next to nothing and still offers loads of protection for the fish. So let's jump into the video and have a look at that cradle. So like I say, if you are looking to save a little bit of weight and a little bit of room in your actual carp setup, then this NGT pop-up cradle shouldn't be overlooked, because as you can see, it does pack away nice and small. It's completely flat as well, which is really handy. So that means stacking it on a barrow is going to be nice and easy, but it's also got a couple of carry handles as well. So if you are just carrying your kit around, if you're just doing a day session with a little bit of kit, then it makes it nice and easy to carry it around the lake. Plus it's nice and lightweight too, which I will tell you the actual weight in a little bit. But this bag actually comes with it. So it's not an extra, it comes within the price, which I'll tell you at the end. And then at the front of the bag, you've got a little pocket with a couple of bivvy pegs. Again, I'll tell you in a little bit where they come in. But let's open it up so you can see the cradle itself. And it basically comes in two parts. If I can get it out. So you have got the main frame itself, which simply pops up, which is where it gets its name from, as a pop-up cradle. So as you can see, it almost like concertinas down and then spirals out like that. Once that's in shape, then it's a case of just unfolding the padded mat, which is obviously what's going to give your fish the protection. So you've then got a decent sized cradle with loads of protection, which packs down to a very small size. So going over the cradle itself a little bit, as you can see on the bottom here, you've got drainage points. This works in a couple of ways. Obviously, when you're dealing with a fish, if you're pouring water on it, it's going to drain through so it doesn't end up like a little swimming pool in there. But it also helps when it comes to the mat drying quicker as well, because with next to no water left in the cradle, it's going to obviously dry out a lot quicker than if you've got little pools of water within it. The frame itself is made from a hardware and plastic, and that's what gives it its kind of springy nature when you set it up. And then it's a nice thick material as well. So you've got a thick material, but it's fish friendly as well on the inside. So the actual inside of the material is made from exactly the same as the outer material of the mat. I think that makes sense. So overall, yeah, it's a really nice little package. And like I say, it's going to save you a lot of space and a lot of weight, and it stacks nicely on a barrow. Now, either end of the frame, there is actually a couple of little pegging points. Now, to some of you, it might seem a little bit unnecessary. Why do you need to peg your unhooking mat down in place? But to others, I'm sure you've chased your unhooking mat halfway down the bank when you've been fishing windy sessions. So it's a nice little feature that you've got pegging points either side. It means it's not going to go anywhere, so you don't have to worry about that. And like I say, you do actually get a couple of bivvy pegs in the bag. So this is really handy, because countless times I've tried pegging something down when I don't have enough pegs, and I've had to nick them out of the bivvy, which generally, if you're needing to peg something like this down, it's going to be very windy, so you probably want your pegs in your bivvy as well. So the fact it comes with it is a nice little touch that NGT have put into this whole little system. Now, I mentioned earlier about saving weight, and yeah, granted, cradles and unhooking mats and that sort of thing aren't going to be the heaviest thing in the world, but if you can save a few kilos here and there, it really does make a difference when you're barrowing for a decent period of time. And this one really is very lightweight. It comes in at just 1.65 kilos, and that includes the bag and the pegs as well. So you can obviously make it lighter if you wanted to, but I think I'd take the extra few hundred grams of the bag and the pegs just to keep everything in a nice contained package. But finally, we will talk about the size, and it's actually a really good size mat, which I'm going to need my new NGT carp cushion to demonstrate the size. So this fish, I'd say, is probably about a 30 pounder. I haven't got one for a while, so I might be completely wrong, but I'd say it's about 30 pounds, and that fits really nicely in this size mat. Granted, you get away with one a bit bigger, but that also means you've got loads of room for fish that are a bit smaller as well. So the actual dimension of this is 106 centimetres wide by 50 centimetres front to back and 20 centimetres at the highest point. I had to think there, I was losing the dimensions. But it is a very good size mat for the majority of fishing over here, and even some fishing in Europe as well. So like I say, that's probably about £30 in size, and that fits very nicely into this Cradle. Now, for any more information, head over to the NGT website where you can probably find a few more specs if you really want to, if I've missed something here. But the best part, which I haven't told you purposely, is that this comes in at under 50 quid. So you get the cradle, the mat, the bag and the pegs for just £48.95. So I think for the compact nature and the quality that this little system is, I think that's a very good price. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.